So Veterans Moving America, we're a values-based moving company that only hires veterans. We got started in June of 2013 after I graduated. Started by just renting trucks as needed with a small team, and pretty much have grown since then to now. We lease 2 trucks, two 26-foot box trucks full time. We lease a pickup truck as well. That's really my old one, so we lease it. We've grown our services from just providing local moving services within the DFW area to also providing, we added a labor-only service called our Helping Hand service for people that maybe don't need our big truck, they just need help loading or unloading a pod. People have used it to move furniture within their home because they're redoing the floor, or they just need stuff moved around, or they're getting rid of stuff. TCU has actually hired us a lot for this service, especially at the beginning and end of each semester whenever they finish building a new dorm or they're about to blow up a dorm because they need help moving the furniture out, new furniture back in. And then we also offer our moving services to anyone moving within the state of Texas to or from DFW, and the other service is a professional packing service. So people usually ask 2 questions. They ask me, 1, why moving? And 2, why veterans? So the moving part is pretty easy. I was an entrepreneurial management and supply chain management major at TCU, so love the idea of starting a business, but supply chain and logistics and everything that, well, most things that are encompassed in supply chain hold a special place in my heart. I was really involved in both programs, so moving was just sort of one of the first ideas that came to mind. It was nothing too complicated. It seemed something that was in line with, what I had been studying and what might interest me in terms of the logistics side of things. And I love driving big trucks, so there was another plus. So that was honestly how the moving piece came about. But the veteran piece, you met Jason, but Jason was, the Marine that moved in with my family in late 2008. He had a great job, married, had 2 kids, and pretty much all within October of 2008, lost his job, was going through a divorce, and pretty much lost everything. And so we told him he could move in with my family for what was supposed to be a few months to get back up on his feet, and that ended up being almost 3 years, is what that turned into. The military mindset, the military way of communicating, it just does not mesh well with a lot of civilians who don't understand how they are taught to be when they're in the military. Got the veterans, got the moving company idea, talked to people about it, they liked the idea, did some market research, looked like there was a huge opportunity in DFW in particular, and I said, well, let's go for it. Assets to really manage fleet maintenance. So a full service lease with riders is the way we went, because if anything breaks on the truck, they take the truck and they give us a replacement until they fix it. They make sure that we are coming in for our scheduled maintenance. They're making sure they're doing all of that for us. So having that peace of mind was very important to us. In terms of other supply chain methodologies or practices, we used to do a lot of business in Dallas and Fort Worth. And so what we started to do in the very beginning was, when we had a job in Dallas, we would keep half of our equipment over in Irving. We would rent a truck in Dallas, go pick up the equipment from there, and then go do the job and come back. But the logistics of having to drive from Fort Worth to the Dallas rental location, go there, then go to Irving, then it doesn't make sense. So then after a while, we started just running out of Fort Worth. Even if we had to go all the way to Dallas in our big truck, which we had to pay more mileage and gas, that made things a lot simpler, more efficient in the long run, and just more consistent for our team. So that was a little thing, chain-esque thing that we do. We do manage inventory. We do have packing materials. So we have to manage that inventory, figuring out, what do we sell those at? How do we get those? Do we get those delivered? Do we pick them up, etc.? That was a little thing. Well, the primary business that we do is moving. And so most of it's local. And so because we're not involved necessarily in the supply chain of a specific product, it's not like you can trace what we're delivering back to the source in terms of sourcing and when they source all the raw materials, they manufacture and they deliver all that stuff. We're not so much involved in that long of the typical supply chain you might have for a product. But what our pipeline or supply chain does look like is more, there's the sales side, which the first thing we do is we try and get information on what we will be transporting. We have a list that we make our clients fill out. That gives us an idea of how much truck space we will need, how many people we will need to send on a given job, how long we think it'll take. If they have additional locations, we have to plot those out as well and figure out, is this a job that we can do safely in one day? Do we need to split it into 2 days? And so that's where the logistics really come into play, is looking at the list of items, which is almost always not 100% accurate, and making sure that we're sending enough truck space to be able to do that job, and enough manpower to be able to do it in a safe amount of time, and also trying to meet the estimate that we send the client as well. Look at it in terms of if the moving process is the whole supply chain from A to B. We're kind of one of the last steps because they've done a lot of the other things they have to do to move, and we're just the ones that are getting the bulk of everything moved from one to the other. So right now, I'm our accounting department. I'm our sales department, customer service department, HR department, pretty much all the departments you could say that I'm involved in. So really what that looks like is a day-to-day is I'll come into the office, I'll be taking phone calls for people that are either looking to move or that have received estimates or that have upcoming moves that are confirmed. I'll be looking to see what people have submitted their information and need estimates, and then creating and sending those estimates. If people accept their estimate, then I'm printing off the estimate, getting the paperwork ready for the team. I'm scheduling the team. I'm making sure we have the trucks reserved if we need additional rental units. Making sure that the operations side of all that is done. If they need packing materials, making sure that we have enough packing materials in inventory. I'm doing paperwork from completed missions, so I'm confirming people's hours. I'm putting those sales into QuickBooks and keep doing all of our bookkeeping for our constant expenses. I love my job because it's challenging. It keeps me very busy. The goal would be to expand the company. In my head, my dream is to grow the company to be a company that's nationwide. Whether that's with the moving piece, whether that's with the trucking piece, whether that's with something else that we haven't thought of. The goal and the dream that excites me is creating a huge family of veterans that no matter where you are, you can come and work for this company.